The world is changing fast, and so are the local real estate markets. Don't worry though, we've got you covered. Welcome to the Real Estate Revolution.
Welcome to the Real Estate Revolution podcast. I'm Kip LOHR, your host with LOHR Real Estate, and we are broadcasting from the COBA Home and Garden Show. It has been 2 years since the Home and Garden Show has been able to grace Central Oregon, and we're really excited to be at the show. We're going to be broadcasting live on our Facebook feed later in the show, but today we got to start out with this week's market report with Ryan Neal. Take it away, Ryan Neal.
Yeah, so welcome everybody. Thanks for joining us here virtually at the Home and Garden Show. It kind of just looks like the LOHR Real Estate World Headquarters, but you're kind of missing our surroundings, so maybe catching some
background,
ambiance.
We just started, and we're getting quite a few people through here already. I'm really excited. So tell us about Ben's market.
Okay. So the market, what you've all been waiting for. So as usual, first our weekly mortgage rate update. So I hate to be the bearer of bad news. We've been that often lately, but rates are up again.
Yeah. What are we looking at?
Looking at 30-year fixed rate conventional mortgages. Those are up just over to 5.6%, inclusive of APR. So, that's about 0.1%, just over the last week.
Wow.
Then looking at FHA, VA rates. FHA and VA, they were both down a little bit last week, right, as we reported, but this week they're back up again. Now we got FHA rates at 5.3%, VA rates at around 5.2%, again, inclusive of APR, and thanks again to Brad Towser of Mortgage Express for bringing us those up-to-the-minute numbers.
There you go. So what are we looking at in Bend this week?
Well, in Bend, so we're May 6th today.
Yeah.
We pulled the numbers from the end of the month, so through the month of April, and last week we reported that we were starting to see some changing trends in our local markets, and in Bend in particular, there's a trend toward lower buyer activity, higher inventory, and the end of the month numbers really, hold up what we reported to you last week, where we were seeing buyer activity as measured by pending sales down about 11%, and then inventory was up close, really super close to 1 month. And
wow.
I mean, 1 month.
That's a half a month gain right there.
pretty close. We were at about 0.6 to 0.7 months of inventory, over the last several weeks. But it's a pretty quick jump. And right now in Bend, let's see. There are 311 active properties right now, when I most recently pulled them anyway. And of those, it's interesting, 116 have been on the market for longer than a month.
Wow.
So a lot of these properties that have sat on the market for a while, they are higher-end homes. And that's been traditionally the trend in the Bend market, is that, these higher-end $1.5 plus homes, they tend to sit on the market longer. But what we were seeing, especially in 2021, very beginning of 2022, was this trend really toward Bend's luxury market getting super hot. Yeah. Properties going off the market way faster than ever before, way more competition than ever before.
Yeah, and I would say, on the listing side, we've had some interesting activity just in the last couple of weeks with the not that high end market, kind of in that $600,000-$800,000 price range.
Yeah, to clarify, it's not just the high end market. I mean, so the median sale price in Bend, last week it was $825,000. Wow. And again, once we get the sale data, those are properties that went into contract, went pending. Typically, in a cash offer, properties can close really fast, but if financing's involved at all, which it most often is, even with these higher end homes, those are sales that went pending at least a month ago, typically. Yeah. So, we're expecting those median sale numbers to cool down significantly. The pending sale activity the last week was just under $700,000. Okay. So it's the lower half of Bend's market for sure is still more hot.
Right. Which makes sense.
Yeah.
How are things looking in Eugene?
Well, so in Eugene, we were saying last week that we were kind of seeing the same trend that we're seeing in Bend toward higher inventory, less buyer activity, a bit less pronounced. But what the end of the month numbers really showed was that, actually pending sale activity is hardly down at all.
Oh, wow.
Year over year.
Wow.
Buyer activity is hardly down at all.
So the
basically,
Eugene market's kind of still
Eugene's market is just chugging along like usual, basically.
Okay.
And last month we hit a record median sale price of $475,000 in Eugene.
Wow.
And here too, we aren't necessarily expecting those prices to continue to ramp up, but it's definitely more possible in Eugene that we'll continue to see similarly high property values moving forward.
Well, that's pretty exciting for both markets, seeing the shiftiness that we kind of expected. We're going to be broadcasting for the rest of the Home and Garden Show through the weekend, and we'd invite you to come down and see us and enjoy the rest of this particular podcast.
Yep, we'll have some exciting interviews coming up for you. So
there you go. Stay tuned.
Stay tuned.
Welcome back to the Real Estate Revolution podcast. I am Kip Lohr, your host with LOHR Real Estate, and we are still broadcasting from the COBA Home and Garden Show. And we have a couple of guests. We have a couple of guests that we're going to be interviewing here in a minute, and I am really excited about these two. It's Aaron with Quality Finishers and Diane with Top Rated Cleaning and Maintenance, which is their sister organization, and they are going to share their services that they have here in the Central Oregon community, and I'm excited to get that interview started, so let's do it. Hello and welcome back to the Central Oregon Builders Association Home and Garden Show. I am Kip Lohr, your host with LOHR Real Estate. We are doing a live broadcast of our Real Estate Revolution podcast today. It's been 2 years since we've been able to be here at the Home and Garden Show for obvious reasons, and I have a really special guest in here today, Aaron Meyers with Quality Finishers. I got it right.
Did.
Yes. Do I need to say Inc.?
No.
Okay, Quality Finishers, and you are a one-stop shopping center. Everything you ever possibly needed to have done to your house from the ground up, you guys could do. Is that right?
That's correct.
Okay, so I want to start this off by just talk a little bit about yourself. We were talking about you off camera, and you're a local's local. Talk a little bit about you, and then we'll talk about Quality Finishers.
Yeah. So I grew up in Central Oregon since the late '70s. Went to school here, graduated here.
Bend or Mountain View?
Mountain View all the way.
View all the way.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
All right. Just had to check.
Yeah. So grew up here. We had a stint where I moved to Portland to go to college and.
PSU?
Yep, I did.
All right. My brother graduated from PSU.
Nice. Yeah. So after a while, I ended up moving back here in 2010, and I've been here ever since.
Yeah, and you're glad you stayed, right?
Absolutely.
And you've been from mill days to the Learjet days, right?
Absolutely.
So
yeah.
do you miss the old mill days, or are you liking the Bend of today?
It's hard to say. It's easy to be nostalgic about it. Like I remember. My friends and I would ride our BMX bikes through the mill because we wanted to cut from Colorado over to the 3rd Street to get out towards Deschutes River Woods.
Yep.
I remember riding out Skyliner because that's where all the BMX tracks were.
Yeah.
But I also remember getting a ticket when I was 12 for inner tubing in the Deschutes River. and
you get to do that now with a beer in your hand.
And now you can't even see the river in the summer because there's so many inner tubes.
That's right.
It's easy to be nostalgic about that and remember when there was 13,000 people in town and it was a very small town feel, but I still love it because there's still that sense of community here, even though
100%.
We're growing so large. I think that's what attracts a lot of people here. You can't help but be grateful to be a contractor in the market that we have today because it is just booming. This town.
It is. Well, and with that growth comes the amazing parks that we have now, like the development around the river you wouldn't have had in the mill days.
That's true.
The food is better. Would you agree?
That's true. Absolutely.
We got these food cart pods everywhere. Yep. I mean, there's a lot of upside here, I think, and I love Central Oregon. And so let's talk a little bit about Quality Finishers and.
Sure.
Let's start with the construction side, and then we'll go over to the other things that you guys do.
Sure.
But, you started out just doing kind of some high-end finish work, right?
Right. Yeah. So Quality Finishers, we started in December of 2018, and my brother and I decided to start Quality Finishers because he had just gotten his business degree from U of O.
Okay.
And
Go Ducks.
yeah.
I'm an alum from
Love the
from
Ducks.
U of O. Yeah. All right.
So with that and both of our construction background of doing this since we were kids, our stepfather was a general contractor in the area. So since
Nice.
we were like in our teen years, we were digging fence post holes and hauling rocks for him because he didn't want to do that anymore.
Right.
But you go throughout life and we have we've both been in the industry for a long time, and it was kind of like, well, hey, the market's really starting to pick up around here. Maybe we should give it a shot. And my brother comes from a very long career of doing painting, so painting a lot of commercial. He used to be a union painter.
Oh, wow.
And
Journeyman painter.
Yeah, journeyman painter over in Portland, and a lot of commercial work. He and I both.
Oh, wow.
And did that for a lot of years, and he actually had his business in Portland as a painting company.
Oh, okay.
And all the way up until the recession in 2008. So we just
enough said.
Yeah, so we decided to give it another shot, and it was like he wanted to have a painting company. I wanted to have more, because I've done a lot more construction than just painting, right? I've done a lot of painting, but so through a little nudging on my part, we decided to open Quality Finishers, and we started specializing in painting, siding, drywall, and finish carpentry.
Nice.
And that's how Quality Finishers began, when it was the two of us working out of my garage, and in 4 years, the company has managed to transform itself.
Well, you've added 11 employees a year.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, it's been amazing. It's been a lot of growth, and with growth comes growing pains. So
no doubt.
Learning a lot of things as we've grown. I didn't imagine that 4 years down the road we'd have almost 45 employees and be doing the work that we're doing. Today we're able to offer to our clients. We get to build custom homes from the ground up.
Wow.
We have a number of amazing subs that work with us to make that happen.
And do you guys have in-house designers / architects, or do you have some that you refer out to?
So we have a designer that works exclusively with us. She picks up other clients as well, but she does work with us. She's actually going to be at our booth on Saturday from 1 to 3 if anyone's interested in talking design. But one of the things we do offer is a design package. So people want to do a build, we end up bringing her in for a consultation. We pay the fees and hire her out. The design gets done, and then if the person decides to hire us after that point, that fee gets amortized into the price.
Great.
Yeah, but if they decide to go their own way and keep the design, then they've paid for it. And
that's fair.
Yeah,
that's fair.
It's pretty cool little offering.
So ground up these days, like where do you think the business? Where are you focusing most of your energy right now? Are you still kind of mostly on the old school finishes side of things, or are you really transitioning to being more of a ground up builder here in town?
I really want to transition more to being the ground up builder. Reason being is it would be nice to have to only get 7 jobs a year versus 150. It's a lot less effort on my part in the office, and when you have 45 mouths to feed every week or every payday, it's like there's a lot of hustle goes into it, and
a lot of things to keep track of, right?
A lot of things to keep track of. So I would love to see more of that. I never plan on abandoning what we are and who we are, which we market ourselves as custom home builders, luxury remodels, and everything in between. And the everything is in between is the fact that we have all those employees. We have in-house carpenters, we have in-house siders, finish carpenters, we have painters. Most of the drywall work we do, we sub out now. But we have all the work that happens. We have a full in-house painting department. We have I think 12 painters on staff, and we're looking to hire. If anyone out there is looking for a job,
you should
please come see us.
Yeah.
We've grown into doing a lot of the commercial painting. We're actually doing the old JCPenney's right now.
Oh wow.
Looking at some bigger projects with painting, but come to the home show and hopefully fill up our schedule with a lot of residential repaints.
And are you still taking remodels?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Great. And how do you find, obviously material costs went up through the roof last year.
Yeah.
Like last summer, it was, a 2x4 was gold, right?
Right.
You know, and they've come down a little bit, but what do you, I mean, do you have a little rough estimate, you know, lick your finger and hold it up, estimate of like what's the percentage cost increase to do a ground up build just on the materials side?
Oh my
you know,
God.
What do you think? 40%, 30%?
I would have to say it's anywhere from 30 to 50%.
Yeah.
I mean, you can just look at the market of what houses are going for. I mean, I think probably 3 years ago you were looking at, you know, $250 a square being the good,
The normal,
or a good high price, a higher end price, and now we're looking at like $375 to $400.
Wow.
I mean, it's insane
To build the same thing.
Yeah, to build the same thing, and I mean, a lot of that has to do with the material costs.
Exactly.
You know, that material costs and the fact that labor costs have gone up so much over the last year.
Yeah, and it's hard to get, like, you're plugging for painters.
Absolutely.
You know, it's just hard to find workers right now. I've got a buddy of mine that's got a carpet cleaning, you know, business here in town, and he's got idle trucks that are sitting because he can't put anybody in them.
Absolutely.
So it's a little tough.
It is tough. I do probably on average 5 interviews a week.
That sounds like a full-time job almost.
It is. I wear many hats within the company. But, you know, you just do what you got to do.
Now, is your brother still out in the field, or is he? What is?
So my brother. So I managed to work my way out of the field probably 8 months, 12 months ago through the ability of hiring really good project managers. Which has been a godsend for me. And so now I work most of my time working as the CEO of our company, and I do the vast majority of sales, and you know, I have my team that helps me with the other office work. We have an amazing team in there, but my brother, he helps not only with the sales and the marketing, but he does run our paint division still.
Oh, nice.
So hopefully we're looking to get him out of that
He's
soon.
not out there with a sprayer in his hand, is he?
Some days only in emergencies.
Is he cutting edges in?
I mean, I don't know anyone better to do it, but you know, he's the best I know. But
yeah, but he
try.
shouldn't be at this point, right?
No.
Yeah.
So hopefully not, but sometimes he does. You know?
Yeah.
We do what we have to do.
No doubt. Before we talk about some of the other things that you're doing,
Sure.
Give some advice for some folks that are thinking about doing a remodel or thinking about building a home as far as process goes. Like, what's important, kind of, you know, here's where you want to start. Here are the potholes in the road for you.
Yeah.
You know, give some advice to folks out there that are looking to do this. Which I'm one, by the way.
Okay.
So I'm a little bit, you know, I'm kind of sneaking in my own reconnaissance here. Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
I think the most important thing to do is to do your research.
Yeah.
Right. So don't come into a situation without having done some research. Like find out what is the average cost of doing something like this. Right. Also research where are some good companies. You know, you can find, it's amazing what you can do on Google. You look on there and you can find the ones with the best reviews, and I would recommend calling at minimum 3 contractors.
100%.
You know, I wish it was always just me and I could just easily walk in and do this, but a homeowner that's looking to do things should be educated. So that way when they can come into it, they understand, first of all, they should know what their budget is, because that's a big thing. A lot of people want to just do it, then you give them a price and they're like, oh my goodness, I wasn't expecting that.
Took a bunch of your time and you're like, well, you know, I can only afford to spend $5.
So having a realistic budget to work with, to know what you're doing, and kind of have an idea of where you want to go with your project, like a vision. One of the first things I talk to people about is I say, what's your vision? You know, what do you see in it? And because really my job as a contractor and as a business owner is to have that premier customer experience with the unparalleled quality craftsmanship. And so it's like, how do I give that to you? You got to share your vision with me. So once I get the person's vision and we talk about budget, understanding what that is, really it's just make sure that you do your due diligence with contractors, find out if they're accredited, you know, check with the Better Business Bureau, check with, make sure licensed, bonded, insured, check with COBA, who put on this amazing event. I mean, they're a great resource. People who are with COBA usually have all those boxes checked.
No,
so you're not going to get some Chuck in a truck coming over promising
Chuck's
you the world.
pretty good framing company.
Right? Well, that comes in with the super amazing price that's too good to believe. You know?
And you know, part of it is like, these days, if they're answering their phone and can actually get you in a couple of weeks, there's a reason for that.
There is a reason for that. There is a reason for
that.
Yeah.
So from land acquisition. So are the people that you're working with doing ground up builds, are most of them getting construction financing, or
Yeah,
what
typically.
are you finding? Yeah.
You know, I've found either they're getting construction financing or they have private financing. It's amazing how many people
Are doing private money now.
moving into town that have money. They've sold their home somewhere else. They're
Yeah.
coming and they have the desire to have that Central Oregon experience, you know,
Yep.
be around the community because they love the friendly people, or they love the mountains and the lakes, and
Yeah.
and they just want to build their dream home. And a lot of what I'm finding is people that want to build that home,
Yeah,
you know, or
so-
remodel the home into their forever home.
That's right. So land acquisition, you get your plans, you send them to the city. How long is it taking to get approved from the city these days? 3 months?
No, I've
2
had
months?
some come in and yeah, probably 6 weeks was the best, but anywhere from 6 weeks to 3 months is about average.
Okay, and what's your turnaround usually? What's your build time for, an average 2,500 square foot house?
Depends how much they have going into the finishes,
Yeah.
but typically you're looking anywhere from 5 to 7 months,
Oh, wow.
somewhere around there.
Okay.
I mean, I've had some stretch a little bit
You guys
longer.
that's pretty quick.
But it comes
pretty
to
quick.
project management. Right?
100%.
It's if you can come into a job, and I mean that's why you hire a professional, right?
Yep.
Come in with a good plan, the subs that they know that are going to do a good job, scheduling, ordering material ahead of time. It's
Yeah.
like the last thing you want is a contractor to say, hey, I'm about to start and no material is going to be here for 3 weeks.
Right.
So we're going to not, so it's like having your ducks in a row. And having
100%.
experienced people that know what they're doing and how to put a project together and how to manage a project and see it to completion.
And you guys might know how to do that, right?
I think we do. I think we do.
Okay, so I've alluded to some other things that
Sure.
you guys do outside of the construction zone.
Absolutely.
So let's hear you got a little side hustle, right?
I have. So Quality Finishers had we started another business that was basically a child of Quality Finishers, and
Okay.
it's top-rated cleaning and maintenance.
Okay.
And
what does top-rated cleaning and maintenance do?
So top-rated cleaning and maintenance used to be just a division of Quality Finishers, and where that kind of grew from was we were doing a lot of handyman work. We were doing a lot of smaller projects like maintenance projects,
Yeah.
where we were taking care of things, and then we ended up picking up a lot of property management companies, or we would pick up Airbnbs, vacation rentals, all these sort of things, and through a partner of mine that came on. They had a vast experience, like years.
And what's her name again?
Diane Belanger.
And you're
The
going to bring her
amazing-
over here, right?
The amazing Diane. Yes.
The amazing Diane
Yes.
will come over
Yes.
and she'll give me the nitty gritty.
She will give you the nitty gritty.
That's great.
But yeah, so through that, we've been able to take care of people's smaller projects. That's kind of like, it's nothing like feeling like your project's too small. Like, is that too small to get done? And not
Yeah.
feeling like you can still have a really experienced contractor show up and do this, right?
Well, or get somebody to come
Yeah.
at all, right?
Or
So
get someone
that's
to
the
answer
thing,
the phone.
especially the
Yeah.
small things,
Yeah.
right?
Absolutely.
You could be 6 months out getting
Absolutely.
your fence painted.
I'll tell you what, today I just got a notification before I came over here. I had a guy that replaced one one handrail, top rail on a deck, and he increased the size of a crawl space for something. And
So
it said
no
those are
job
done.
too small.
No job too small.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll come in and we'll take care of you. I mean, the best thing is for us to let the public know is just like, we're here for you. It doesn't matter how big or how small. We're not here to do that. If we can take care of it, if we're the right person, we'll let you know. If we're not the right person, we'll let you know.
So you're a truth teller.
That's the best thing you can be as a salesman.
Yeah.
Good, bad, or indifferent.
Yeah.
Here's the facts.
Yeah, well, I always, the very first thing I tell potential clients is I'm going to tell you the truth, not what you want to hear.
Right. Not
know?
always.
Well, I
Sometimes.
mean, sometimes
Yeah.
they might be the same
Hopefully.
thing, but
Hopefully, yeah.
yeah, but they're not
Yeah.
always. So you got to
Yeah.
you got to be not afraid to tell people that
Absolutely. It's it's more important to know how to say no than yes all the time.
100%.
Yeah.
So do you have any parting thoughts?
Parting thoughts. If you're listening and you haven't been to the home show, come to the home show.
Yes.
A lot of great contractors here. A lot of great stuff here.
Yep.
Man, I was excited to be on your podcast. This is
Yeah.
the first podcast I've ever done. Hopefully,
You knocked it out of the
Did I?
park.
Okay,
I can
good.
tell you, to do it in
Good.
one take is amazing. And when we go live, that's all the choice you get. And you just
Right.
you
Yeah.
crushed it. So
Yeah.
send Diane over. And
I
I got to
will.
thank you for coming.
Yes.
And
Thank
make sure you get me, get me more cards so I can hand them out. And
I will.
really appreciate your time. And
Thanks for having me.
come by again.
I will.
I'll see you again.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks.
Have a good day.
Yep. Hey there, welcome back to the Real Estate Revolution podcast. We are doing this all day for the next 3 days. We're going to actually be, well, I mean, this day is almost over. It's really gone by. But anyway, I am Kip LOHR with LOHR Real Estate. You are on the Real Estate Revolution podcast. And we have Diane with Top Rated Cleaning and Maintenance. I got it right.
You got it right.
I did.
Yep, you did.
And you guys have a booth here?
We do. We have a booth over next to our brother company, Quality Finishers.
I know. We talked to him.
Yeah.
So listen, tell me a little bit about you first, and then we'll dive into what you guys do at Top Rated.
Absolutely. So I've been around Central Oregon for years and years and years. Actually, I want to say since 1962, a long time ago.
Okay, for a minute. You've been
right for a minute. I've been here for a long time.
Yeah.
But
you've been in Bend, when Bend was more like Oak
Oh
Ridge.
yeah, we actually had a roller skating rink here at that time.
It was a mill town.
Yes, it was
then.
wonderful.
Yeah.
It was great. It's still great though. So
no, thank you.
Lots of room to grow. So it's been
agree.
wonderful.
Yeah. So tell us a little bit about Top Rated Cleaning and Maintenance.
So Top Rated Cleaning and Maintenance came along this last year. We rebranded from While You're Away. Aaron and Derek, who own Quality Finishers, asked me to come this way. They knew I had a very successful business previously. I thought I was going to retire a little bit early.
That's what you for thinking.
Went to Arizona.
Didn't like it much.
It wasn't home. It wasn't the high desert. It is the desert, but not the high desert. It wasn't Central Oregon. There's nothing better. But I came back, and Aaron calls me, and he says, "Hey, Diane," he says, "I really need your help. I've been in the industry for 15 plus years doing more than not vacation rentals, things like that.
Yeah,
And so I have a really good handle and know-how of what it takes to be successful in that type of business. So here I am growing Top Rated Cleaning and Maintenance. We went from having, I think, 7 houses last April. I have 49 now, plus some commercial.
Well, we're going to throw you a few more out of my property management division. So
that'd be awesome.
We'll be talking. We'll be talking off camera about that. But yeah,
there you go.
Great.
That's exciting. So we're just growing, and it's all positive feedback. We've been word of mouth. And for the last year, and we've just really done a good job growing. So
well, that's good. And so, what are the services that you guys provide?
So initially, like I said, we started with a vacation rental. A lot of residential, move in, move out. New property owners moving into the area that maybe they had it clean, but they want that professional deep clean.
Totally.
Things like that. I just landed doing some work for the River House, the Currents restaurant, so I'll be doing some of that.
Wow.
So I'm pretty excited,
Yeah.
Yeah.
It sounds fun. It sounds like a lot.
It is a lot, but it's great. If you're not busy, you're not doing your job.
That's for sure.
Yeah.
So do you guys do window cleanings too and stuff like that? Or
So as a cleaning company, I think most people know that if you're a cleaner, you don't do windows. There's a profession for that. So we do subcontract that in.
But you've got somebody
window cleaning, carpet cleaning, all of that stuff. We can get you to the right person.
So you can be a one-stop shopping center on the cleaning side.
We are a one-stop shopping center. For most of our clients, I ask them, what's your need? What's the biggest thing that you really need for me to do?
Yeah.
And if I can't do it, I find somebody to do it.
Well, that's great. And so I would suggest that you get some realtors like our company to, what we find is it's a great selling point to add into a transaction, to have a house professionally cleaned before the buyers move into the place. And obviously, when we're doing a showing of some of the higher end homes, having somebody come in and do like a really good fluff and buff before you put it on the market is another good one. So I think there's
a lot of potential.
A lot of potential there.
Yeah, that's something I've done, like I said, for the last 15 years. So
you know it.
So I had my own business before I came in. Aaron and Derek begged me, so they snatched me up. But I had a very lucrative business going on before I went to Arizona, and I handed that down in my family. It's still going. So much
room.
Kind
of in competition with your old business.
Well, yeah, so much room here to grow, though. There's been no problem getting the business. It's just wonderful.
We have a really hard time getting people. The turnaround time, a lot. If you get anybody to call you back, can be 3 or 4 weeks.
Well, it's definitely keeping staff.
Yeah.
And so, we don't pay our cleaners $12.50 an hour. We don't pay our cleaners minimum wage. We have to pay that top-notch wage, because if you don't,
they don't stick around.
No, and people, they want to. Yeah, they want to make what they feel like they're worth, and so you got to pay.
Make a living. Yeah.
Yep, you got to pay that top dollar to keep good help. That's what we're there for.
I know.
Right?
Yeah, totally.
Right.
So what are we missing? Anything else we should shout out into the world?
No, I don't think we're missing anything other than there's so much room to grow in Central Oregon. And I think that I would love to collaborate with you guys.
Absolutely.
Anybody else out there that needs our services, I'm totally willing to do whatever I can do to do my part.
Awesome. Well, how do they get a hold of you?
So they can reach me, of course, at Top Rated Cleaning Maintenance. My number is 541-668-0018.
Okay.
My name's Diane. Give me a call and I'll get back with you.
I love it. Thanks for coming on the show.
All right. Thanks so much.
All right. Come by again.
Thanks.
Thank you for joining The Revolution. We are over and out until next week, when we'll continue to fill you in on all that matters most in our local Bend and Eugene real estate scenes. See you next time on The Real Estate Revolution.